I need to make this video very quickly because it is 10:47 at night and I have to work in the morning. So I created a video the other day about, basically it was what I called a sketchbook tour, although it wasn't just sketchbook. And I am refilming the intro and outro sequence because as I was editing it to post on YouTube, I didn't like it. So here it is again. Hi, I'm Raiiny, and for my first video on my YouTube channel, Raiiny Creates, as a way to finally come back from my huge art hiatus, I wanted to reminisce on my art journey over this past decade or so. This video will start off in the very beginning, in 2012, my senior year of high school, up until now. So you'll be able to see the huge art change. I think the greatest leaps that I did art-wise was probably when I was in college. I have everything timestamped. You'll be able to go on the bottom of this video and see each chapter if you wanted to just zoom through. But I did have a lot of fun going through all my old artwork and just remembering which pieces I was so proud of back then and seeing them now. Even though I know my art has improved, I sometimes look at them and just think like, wow, those are so horrible and so crappy. It is fun to put myself back into that mindset of when I was super proud of it. And it was really nice going through and seeing everything put together. I do know the Raiiny from back then would be very proud of the Raiiny today. So there's that. In my original video, I called it a sketchbook tour, but I changed that to an art tour. Although there is a lot of pieces that are missing because once I got my laptop, I started a lot of digital illustration and that really took off. But my laptop ended up breaking and everything that I didn't post on either Tumblr, Instagram, or DeviantArt was lost. So I don't have a lot of that. But thankfully I have a few things that I can reference to that time. I think when I started doing digital art is when my art really improved. And once I started doing a lot of figure studies as well. But I wanted to take you guys along this journey and have this be my first video because what better way to introduce myself than to show all of my art from this past decade. Let's get to it. As mentioned earlier in this video, we're going to start off with my high school senior year sketchbook during 2012 to 2013. Most of these were drawn during art class, but some were assignments and others were just drawn for pure boredom. This was supposed to be a finished assignment, but I ended up going with something else. This was a self-portrait and a reflection. During this time, I was obsessed with drawing dream catchers. Using my tablet for reference since these are no longer with me. These were the end of the year art showcase, and at the time I was very critical of these pieces, but I was also proud. Now I'm no longer in school, and with nothing else to do, I really started to take a bigger interest in art. A lot of my work at this time was inspired by anime, manga, and Disney. I focused a lot on faces and expressions as I had a hard time with those the most. And I didn't know how to accurately measure proportions, but I was slowly improving. I started experimenting with different mediums. I was really proud of this one and I still like it. I also drew a lot of men since it was a weakness of mine. I started practicing more figure studies and human anatomy on my own. I got into chibis and comfortable using more darks. Around this time, I finally got my first drawing tablet, and digital illustration soon became my obsession. Trying less stylized drawings and learning a little bit more about realism. Coming into 2014 and 2015, I practiced more on figure studies and learning how to draw different fabrics. I started Inktober here, and I failed. I think I only got 11 days in. I haven't found my style yet, but I did improve on faces and different features. Tried giving storyboarding a try. These were inspired by Ghibli. I started taking digital illustration seriously. That was just a quick sketch of my mom's backyard. I really loved converting my drawings into full-blown illustrations. That was really fun. These were character concepts for a friend who started his own comic. I got into K-pop, BTS specifically, and using more charcoal and paints. And by the way, I'm still a huge BTS fan. Just a quick FYI for any armies. Here I learned that there was different tone sketchbooks and experimented on those, because previously I didn't know that there was different tone sketchbooks. Here I'm entering into my college era. And my obsession with K-pop really took off around this time. This was learning fundamentals and perspective. a lot of portrait studies of family, friends, and celebrities. Tried and failed Inktober once again. My favorite area during this time, my art improved tremendously, and I think that has a lot to do with how forgiving digital illustration is, because you can easily just tap erase or undo. And I remember for the longest time after going back into traditional drawing from digital illustration, I ended up like double tapping or trying to find the undo button, which was ridiculous because you can't do that in traditional illustration. But that was a habit of mine for a while after I stopped doing digital illustration. Some of these I still love, and some of those are still my favorite things I've ever drawn till today. My laptop broke and I didn't have money for a new one, so back to the basics with sketchbooks. These are sketches of my daughter, so those aren't from before, those are more recent. Having fun with, I think those are colored charcoal. This was a charcoal study of an animal. A lot of these are studies. This is an assignment to use a new medium, which I chose to draw that with flame. And that was the first time I've done that. It was pretty fun. I'm just showing different assignments. So like if you were to go back to the beginning of when I first started showing my journey, a lot of these you can take and compare to what I was doing in the beginning, and yeah, improvement. This was a Zentangle assignment. I still love this one, even though it's missing a leg. This was charcoal, charcoal, and more charcoal. We started having live figure studies in class, which was pretty awesome. It was my first time trying that and doing that, and I loved it. And if I ever am able to do that again, I definitely will, because it was super fun. It was a face study of using lights and darks. Another animal drawing in charcoal. This one was of my dog Bubba. He didn't live long, but I still love that to this day. I unfortunately haven't had much time to actually draw or have the motivation to draw anything, so this period is very sparse. Now my paintings and different things that I have on canvases. Some of these aren't recent, but because they are paintings, I wanted to put them at the end. I am wrapping up my art tour, but I wanted to give a quick thank you to those who made it this far along this journey with me. You are greatly appreciated. Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. I have a lot of feeling looking at all my old artwork, and like I said in the beginning of this video, just getting back into that mindset of when I was proud of certain pieces and how amazing I thought I was at the time. I definitely had a lot of pieces where I was very critical of myself about, but for the most part, there are some pieces that I knew were good, and those pieces I still love to today. But going forward, I'm going to try to post as much as possible to keep myself accountable because I do want to get back into creating art, and this is my return from my huge art hiatus, which I will be doing a separate video another day on why I stopped creating, why I left, and why I'm coming back now. So stay tuned for that and for much more to come. And don't forget to just create, because art doesn't have to be perfect. It just requires you to start. Bye.